the biodiversity of the Mojave Desert. Located in southwestern Nevada and southeastern California, with smaller parts in Arizona and Utah, the Mojave Desert is a place where you can go to experience desert life. There are many animals and plants that you can see here. The Mojave Desert also has protected areas where you can go to see nature at its best. Climate. During the past century, the Mojave Desert has experienced many climate changes. It is considered the driest of the 4 major North American deserts. These changes are likely due to global-scale climate fluctuations and atmospheric circulation patterns. Moreover, drought is a major factor in determining the ecological dynamics of the Mojave Desert. In the last quarter of the 20th century, there were a series of droughts in the Mojave Desert. The droughts caused widespread mortality of some species, and the vegetation cover in lowland desert areas was significantly affected. The drought period from 1989 to 1991 was particularly intense. This period was probably caused by persistent sea surface temperatures, SST, in the eastern Pacific Ocean, which resulted in an unusually dry climate in the Mojave Desert region. The precipitation amount during this period was significantly greater than during the La Niña period. However, this trend was reversed in 1997 to 1998, and by 1999, the transition to exceptionally high precipitation had ended. A recent study examined regional trends in the climate of the Mojave Desert. The study focused on atmospheric circulation patterns, as well as the role of urbanization. The study found that the climate of the Mojave Desert is influenced by multi-decadal variations in sea surface temperature, SST. These changes are associated with both El Niño and La Niña activity. The study found that 65% of the regional trend in the winter minimum temperature was due to changing circulation patterns. Similarly, the study found that the trend in the Mojave Desert climate was influenced by global-scale fluctuations, including atmospheric pressure, sea surface temperature, and sea level. The Mojave Desert is also experiencing a longer summer season than previously. The longer summer season is probably due to a warmer atmospheric circulation pattern. This has led to a greater increase in precipitation and vegetation growth in the Mojave Desert. In addition, the Mojave Desert is characterized by a longitudinal gradient of precipitation seasonality. This is associated with the Pacific Decadal Oscillation, PDO. The PDO affects perennial vegetation, small herbivores, and annuals. It is expected that the Mojave Desert climate will undergo further changes in the coming decades. Vegetation. Despite being one of the most unfavorable environments for human habitation, the Mojave Desert is home to diverse flora and fauna. There are more than 2,500 species of plant taxa endemic to the Mojave Desert. These plants have survived because of physical and behavioral adaptations. One of the unique species in the Mojave Desert is the Joshua tree. This is a shrub-like plant that grows to tree-like proportions. The Joshua tree is located at elevations of 2,500 to 4,500 feet. However, it is most common in lower elevation areas. Another plant species that is found in the Mojave Desert is the creosote bush. The creosote bush is a clonal ring plant that expands slowly over millennia. The most common creosote bush ring is called the king clone. Another characteristic of the Mojave Desert is the seasonality of rainfall. During the summer months, higher elevations receive more precipitation during convective storms. However, during the winter, precipitation is more scarce. This has a dramatic effect on the vegetation community and mountain ecosystems of the Mojave Desert. This is because trees require extra moisture to survive. However, when rainfall is less, trees drop their leaves. Plants of the Mojave Desert are mostly xerophytes, or plants with few leaves. Other types of plants include cholla, yucca, burro bush, and desert shrubs. Some species of these plants have been adapted to withstand extreme temperature fluctuations. In addition to arid plants, the Mojave Desert is home to many species of animals. There are more than 50 different species of animals found in the Mojave Desert. Some of these species are endangered. The vegetation in the Mojave Desert includes several species of cacti. The cacti that are found in the upper portions of the Mojave Desert are frost-tolerant. However, the Mojave Desert does not support larger columnar cacti. The vegetation in the Mojave Desert also includes burrowed and black bush scrub. These scrubs are found in large, dense stands on north-facing slopes. The vegetation in the Mojave Desert is classified according to the National Vegetation Classification Standards. The vegetation types are based on the dominant species and habitat types. Please subscribe to our channel. Protected habitats. Despite being the smallest of the 4 major North American deserts, the Mojave Desert is the most biologically important. It provides habitat for endangered species such as the Mojave Desert tortoise. It is also home to a rich cultural history. The Mojave Desert is also home to an incredible spectrum of life. This region supports 2,000 plant species. 1/4 of the plants in the Mojave Desert are endemic. Many of these plants are considered endangered. Some of these species are vulnerable to shifts in community composition. One of the major threats to the Mojave Desert is urban sprawl. Approximately half of the land in the Mojave Desert has been altered. In fact, in the last 20 years, habitat loss has increased 500%. The desert tortoise has seen a 35% decline in population. It is endangered by off-highway vehicles, cattle grazing, and habitat degradation. The Mojave Desert is also an important habitat for endangered species such as the Mojave toy chub. It is also home to the Gila monster, an elusive species. In addition to being an important habitat for these species, the Mojave Desert is also home to a unique species of ground squirrel. The Mojave Desert is also important for migrating birds. The Mojave River Transition Zone is protected by the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. In addition to being home to several endangered species, it is also home to a number of migratory birds. Other species found in the Mojave Desert include the Mojave patch-nosed snake, Mojave fringe-toed lizard, and LeConte's thrasher. In addition to being endangered, these species are vulnerable to extinction. The Mojave Desert is also protected by the Desert Restoration Ecology Plan, DREP. This is a desert-wide plan aimed at providing conservation for both plants and animals. The Mojave Desert is also a protected habitat for the Mojave Desert tortoise. The tortoise's habitat is enclosed in the desert, and it has a higher diversity of native plants. It also provides habitat for black-tailed hares, lizards, and nocturnal rodents. Animals. Various types of animals are found in the Mojave Desert. These animals have developed different adaptations in order to survive the extreme temperatures and abiotic conditions of the desert. Some of these animals are endemic, while others can be found in other deserts across the world. The Mojave Desert is characterized by the presence of Joshua trees. These trees are water-storing succulents that are native to the desert. These trees can grow to over 70 feet tall and can live up to 150 years. Joshua trees are also known as jumping cholla. The name is cute. Some animals live in the desert, such as a camel spider. The spider is harmless. It has a large body and powerful jaws. It is a nocturnal species that inhabit deserts and other dry habitats. Not only that, but it lives in groups of up to 50 individuals. Its ears are big, giving it excellent hearing. Other animals in the desert include the kit fox. The kit fox is a small canid that inhabits deserts. The fox usually lives a nocturnal burrowing lifestyle. These animals rarely drink water. Most of their water comes from a carnivorous diet. The kit fox rarely leaves its burrow. The lappet-faced vulture is a large bird of prey. The vulture's bill is 5 inches deep, and its wingspan is 8.5 feet long. Its diet includes birds, bats, and rodents. These animals are active during twilight and night, while they seek shelter in burrows. The Mojave Desert tortoise is a desert reptile that lives in the desert west of the Colorado River in Nevada and California. It is listed as a threatened species. It is well camouflaged, but is at risk of dehydration. During the winter, it hibernates in its burrows. In addition to burrowing, the tortoise releases water from its bladders. Several desert plants are also found in the Mojave Desert. These plants are mostly xerophytes. These plants have spongy, shallow roots and few leaves. They also have spines and thorns. These plants have developed toxins that are deadly to animals. Many species of animals in the Mojave Desert face threats from invasive species. These invasive species have the ability to invade and harm the native plants. Please like, share, and subscribe as it helps our channel grow. Thanks for watching.